Okay. Number one, love hate. Okay, India has the potential to be the next superpower on the planet, and it's a critical time because they have a lot of people in that country, and Rahul Gandhi has the potential to be the next leader of that country and of that superpower. How does that make you feel?
Well, India is a nuclear power also, which is a great responsibility for any leader to sit on such a position of power. And it was once the superpower of the planet. Let us understand that at the time of Mahabharata, going back more than 5,000 years, at the time Lord Krishna was on this planet, Bhagavad Gita was spoken. After the battle of Kurukshetra, India was the ruling nation before and after, but especially after, because all the disturbing kings and leaders of various countries had been annihilated, and there was peace on the planet, relatively speaking, for some time. Somehow India has had lost that position of power on the world scene, but now, as you say, it's rising again like a sleeping beauty, coming into power and prominence. Not just as a nuclear power, but also technologically and culturally, artistically, musically. In so many ways, India is known as it is known as the Land of Dharma.
So Gandhi, how does he fit into that picture then?
So Gandhi, then the family name is famous by, as we know, Mahatma Gandhi, who propounded the modern version of the civil disobedience movement started by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during the Muslim rule of India about 500 years back. So we're talking about a peaceful non-cooperation with the disharmonious rulers of mankind. That whenever the leaders of men mislead the populace and become out of harmony with Mother Nature and the balance of nature, then it is not a question of opposing violently or aggressively the powers that be, but it's a question of non-cooperation with the disharmonious system. And potentially Rahul Gandhi can be just like Mahatma Gandhi was during the British rule of India, now he can be the prominent leader or the role model for especially the younger generation, because he's still young. He was born in 1970. So he is representative of the youthful spirit of mankind, you can say, and can therefore make a prominent change. Numerologically also, his name implies that he has the potential to bring in a vibration of responsibility, love, and a balance with nature.
You've been observing him now since he's come to the public forum via, speeches and everything. What are his strengths? What are his weaknesses?
I have noticed, with my background as a certified life coach, having studied neuro-linguistic programming, where you learn to
stop. Don't say NLP. Don't say life coach. Just say philosophical life coach. Don't box yourself. You are your own master. You can bring that stuff in later. Mm-hmm. So say I have noticed as a philosophical life coach. Don't say those things. Don't say the NLP. Don't say just be your own. Be your own. Yeah. Because then you're just another one of those NLP people. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've got your own skill set. Okay. So as a philosophical life coach,
I have noticed through analyzing his behavior, his speech mannerisms, his body language, that sometimes he comes across as being a bit harsh or aggressive, which I feel defeats the purpose of who he is as a human being. It's as if he assumes a role that he's expected to be a firm leader of modern India. But his whole demeanor and his charisma speaks to me of a person who can bring in a philanthropical and refreshing vibe in politics. His name Rahul means conqueror of all miseries. In the ancient Upanishads, not in Ishopanishad, but in the ancient Vedic Upanishad, the scriptures of ancient India and the Sanskrit meaning of Rahul means conqueror of all miseries. So he can potentially come in and say, okay, enough misery and misfortune for all the destitute, poor, malnutritioned, undernourished, impoverished people of modern India. Let's now bring on a sense of caring and sharing and togetherness. Let the wealthy distribute their wealth to the needy, and let's avoid this huge gap between rich and poor. India is like other super powerful places on the planet, America or England. This huge gap of rich and poor is there, and he can potentially help to eliminate or eradicate that imbalance of the rich getting richer and the poor suffering miserably in poverty and disease and misery and misfortune. And I'd like to see him becoming like an agent of change in that way.
So when you meet him, what will you propose to him?
Well, we have actually outlined a strategy which we call Mahaprabhu Mantra Mela, from Sanskrit language, honoring that India is known globally as the Land of Dharma, as a spiritual place. So let's come together in a spirit of cooperation, mutual support for each other, and especially for Mother Earth. Call it Love Aid. So in Love Aid programs we would have music, art, creativity, song, dance, educational forums, but always targeting that we are living on this planet and Mother Earth needs our support, our help. And there is no need for a new political agenda or a new financial arrangement. There is a need for a new, clear consciousness for the nuclear age. So being that India is, as we say, a rising superpower and is a nuclear power, so in this nuclear age, we want to bring in a new, clear consciousness. A new consciousness and a clear consciousness of simply sensing what is the need of the hour, what is the relevance of coming together for any purpose. Let it be love. Let us bring love on the top of the agenda. Love for humanity, love for Mother Earth, love of life, love of God and Goddess. So our proposal to Rahul Gandhi is that we can stage programs, public programs, where we create an awareness of the urgent, immediate need for India to clean up its act. Not just in the field of politics, in the form of anti-corruption campaigns, but in the practical field of looking at India as an environmental disaster, where overpopulated cities are creating a complete overload on the ecosystems and on the waterways and on the soil, and basically cleaning up India. A 1-week campaign where we get philanthropical industrialists, businessmen, wealthy, influential people to sponsor, and also corporations and organizations, NGOs, all working together for one simple purpose of cleaning up India and saying, okay, India is known as the Land of Dharma. So Dharma means living in harmony with nature and living in harmony with our purpose as human beings on this planet. So we can't live in filth and unclean, unhygienic overload of an ecosystem that is on breaking point. We have to bring in, as I said, a new, clear consciousness for the nuclear age, so that we can utilize all our resources, skills and abilities to create a life of dignity for ourselves and for the future generations. And Rahul Gandhi can become the exponent of that campaign. What we're talking about is making a 1-week celebration of music, art and creativity, kickstarting a campaign where 10, 11-year-old school children can go armed with rubber gloves or work gloves and cardboard boxes or big bin bags, and simply go out in India, wherever locally they have access to areas that are polluted or littered with garbage, and basically clean the waterways, clean the topsoil, the earth, the forestry, basically locally and in both the big cities and in rural areas, in the villages, get all the 10, 11-year-old school children equipped with the facilities and the support and the resources to go out and practically clean up India. And that will then bring in something to celebrate. So as a celebrity political figure, he can become a truly celebrated celebrity.